Hi, it's time for Street Talk, your voice and your views on the issues in the news. First, it was an Oscar, and now it's the Nobel Peace Prize. Al Gore has been formally presented with the Nobel Award for his campaign against global warming. A United Nations body was the co-recipient of the award. Accepting the honor, the former U.S. Vice President praised Europe and Japan for their efforts to avert a climate crisis, but criticized the United States and China, the world's biggest polluters, for their failure to take more decisive action.
The current trading system was spread worldwide. If the United States joined, for example, and if China joined fully, then I think this mechanism would be quite efficient.
Now, here are some of your views on how the United States and China could come together to solve the climate crisis. Hafia from London had a practical idea that would benefit both countries. Renewable energy generators could go down well, especially in rural areas, if the technology could be mass-produced to make it cheap enough. Zalina in New Zealand thinks the problem needs a political solution. If a Democratic president gets in for the next 2 terms of office, then the world will stand a chance of solving some of the climate change problems. Amar from Mauritania thinks that if both countries have the will to change, the solution is simple. They can do it simply by sitting together and involve technicians who can direct them to the best way to do so. Now, the debate around Iran's nuclear program continues to be a hot topic among our viewers. On Monday's show, the U.S. former National Security Advisor Hilary Mann told us that the IAEA is hoping to resolve past transgressions with the Iranian government.
IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, has said is that in the past, Iran was not transparent as it was supposed to be under its treaty obligations.
Now, some of you had ideas on what Iran could do to ease tensions with the international community and its Middle Eastern neighbors. Paula Varley in the United Kingdom had an interesting twist on the situation. The IAEA is not being particularly transparent about what they're seeking at the moment, so Iran could highlight this and take the initiative. Adumu from Nigeria had a different question. Why doesn't the U.S. worry about Israel's nuclear weapons and disregard for UN resolutions? Meanwhile, Andrew in Washington, D.C. had some suggestions. Iran needs to hold talks with its neighbors as well as countries of the West. They must build credibility and trust with these nations, or else, regardless of what the IAEA says, there will always be mistrust. Now, an unusual mix of tourists are camping at the Egyptian pyramids this week. Students from Iraq, Israel, and the occupied Palestinian territories are part of a 10-day peace camp that they hope will shed some of their preconceptions about each other's cultures.
Even though we're all different on the outside, we're the same inside and we all want peace.
I mean, this is the general view I got from the Israelis, that they understand my position, but before they didn't know about Palestinians. They didn't know about our suffering.
They're good people. We can have peace with them.
Well, let's hope they can take some lessons home with them. Do keep sending in your questions and comments and point us to anything interesting or amusing for Street Talk. Remember, what you see here isn't necessarily the view of Al Jazeera. Some of the content has been edited, but for time and space reasons only. And that's the talk on the street.